Listen to this if you have been standing at the edge of something you wanted, and the voice in your head has been telling you that you have not earned it. That whatever lightness is going on without you is for other people. There is an old story about a wandering ronin who, one autumn evening, came to the edge of a village festival. The lanterns were lit, the drums were starting. She stood at the edge for a long time and could not go in. And then a child she had never seen before walked up to her and took her hand. Her name is Tsubaki. She is 30. She has been on the road for many years. The fine scar over her left eye is from a fight she does not speak of. Her katana, the worn, deep red cord on the hilt, rides on her left hip. She had not meant to arrive at the festival. The road had brought her to the village in the late afternoon, and she had stayed because she was tired, and the inn had a small, clean room. By dusk, she could hear the first drums. She had gone out, telling herself she would only walk past the square. She had stopped at the edge. She had been carrying, for a long time, a particular shape of the voice that says you have not earned this. It said it now, very loudly, about the festival. The square was full. Paper lanterns hung in long, warm strings between the eaves of the houses, swaying very faintly in the evening air. A small group of musicians sat on a low wooden platform, drum, flute, a single bamboo shakuhachi. Children ran in 3 colors of small festival masks. Women in their best simple kimono moved through the square, carrying small wooden trays of sticky rice cakes and shared cups of sake. The whole square was lit by the lanterns. The whole square was lit, also, by something else. The small, private warmth that festivals carry, the lightness that does not exist anywhere else in the year, the permission to stand close to other people and to smile without having to mean anything by it. Tsubaki stood at the edge of the square in her dark grey haori. She had stepped back into the shadow of a building eave where the lanterns did not reach. From there, she could watch. The voice in her head was very busy. "You have not earned this lightness," it said. "You are not the person who gets to stand inside this square. The people here are unscarred. They have not done what you have done. They have not lost what you have lost. You would walk in there with the smell of the road on you. You would walk in there with your sword. You would dim the lanterns." She watched the drum start. The drum was small, 2-headed, struck with a soft mallet, a slow heartbeat tempo that the flute and the shakuhachi began to weave around. The children stopped running and stood for a moment to listen, their masks tilted, and then resumed. 2 women laughed near the small booth. The old man with the brush handed a fortune to a young couple. A boy of perhaps 6 dropped a rice cake into the dust, and his older sister, perhaps 10, picked it up and quietly gave him hers. The voice went on. "If they knew," it said, "if they knew what you have done, if they knew about the war, if they knew about your brother, if they knew about the years you spent walking the roads without ever entering any of these squares. You belong outside. You have always belonged outside." She had been standing at the edge for perhaps 20 minutes when a small hand took her hand. She looked down. The child was perhaps 7. She wore a faded red cotton yukata and a small festival mask of a fox pushed up to the top of her head. Her hair was tied with a thin strip of green cloth. She had a smear of dust on her left cheek. She had not introduced herself. She was already pulling. "Come." Tsubaki said nothing. Her free hand drifted, by old habit, toward the hilt of the katana on her left hip. Not to draw, just to know it was there. The child did not notice. The child did not know what a katana hilt meant. The child kept pulling. The voice in Tsubaki's head, which had been very loud about her unfitness for the square, paused. The voice did not know what to do with the child. The voice had a long, careful, restrained, 15-year record of who Tsubaki was and what she had done. It had been polishing that record into a hard shape for a long time. The child had not been on the road with her. The child had not been at the war. The child had not been there for the loss. The child had not heard the voice's case. The child only had a hand and a fox mask on top of her head, and a destination she had decided was important enough to require Tsubaki. Tsubaki let herself be pulled. She stepped, slowly, out of the shadow of the eave and into the warmth of the lanterns. The drum was still going. The flute had risen. The smell of the rice cakes met her. The lantern light was the colour of honey on her dark grey haori. The child pulled her to the small wooden platform where the musicians sat. The child pointed at the flute. She wanted the flute to know that Tsubaki was here. The flute looked up, smiled, did not stop playing, gave a small nod that included both of them. For perhaps 10 minutes, or it might have been an hour, Tsubaki stood in the square with the child's hand in her hand and let the festival happen around her. She did not earn it. The child had not asked her to earn it. The voice was still talking. It had a great deal to say. It was simply that, with a small fox-masked girl standing beside her and the lantern light the colour of honey, the voice had been moved from the centre of her hearing to the edge. The voice has a long memory. It is unimaginably patient. It is unimaginably accurate about its evidence. The only thing the voice does not know how to handle is a person who is not in its archives. A child, an animal, a stranger you have not yet met, a small hand that does not know your name. These are the moments the voice cannot reach. They are also, almost always, the moments you walk back into yourself through. You have been standing at the edge of something. The voice has been telling you, in the slow, careful Bakumatsu cadence of an old archivist, that you have not earned it. That the people inside the square are unscarred. That you would dim the lanterns. The voice is wrong. The voice is also patient and persuasive. You will probably not argue your way out of it. But you do not have to. Find the child in your life, the animal, the stranger, the small hand that does not know your name. Walk toward them. Let them pull you in. The voice has no opinion of them, and so it has no opinion of you when you are with them. No opinion. No memory. Take the hand.